All those opposed? Motion carried. On to our reports. Business manager, absent. You should leave anything for him?
No.
No? Well, I guess if you have any questions, feel free to email Amy. So we will move on to our AD, Mr. Santiago.
So, boys basketball has been kicked out of the LMC. We cannot compete in our conference because we are just a JV team, and that counts against those varsity teams as a game, because there's only a certain amount of games they can play in the season, and it doesn't give them PowerPoint rankings for a state tournament, so we have been kicked out of the LMC. I've had 2 phone calls within the last 2 weeks with the state lady about this situation. Got another call today with our JV boys playing in the West River tournament. They're gonna have to bring their JV teams to play against us so that it doesn't count against them. Same thing with PowerPoint. And no matter what, if we win or lose, we have to go to the consolation bracket. We can no longer advance to a championship. So that's kind of what we're looking at now. I talked to Dr. Pittman a little bit and with Chad Oliver about next year we're gonna have to go to a varsity schedule. That way we can compete in these events, or else we have to find somebody else to take our spot in the West River next year. I don't wanna do that because I've heard that no one's been a fireman for years. I would hate to move that. Next thing I'm looking at right now is how I should go about scheduling football games for this next season. A lot of teams in our state don't want to play 6-man. I got Faith, they're kind of going back and forth with 6 and 9-man. But their AD said he would like to schedule something. And then I got Edgemont, and the Faith AD said there's another school out there that would be willing to do 6-man. I don't know if we want to do 1 game here, 1 game there with each of those schools, or if I reach out to Nebraska and Wyoming, because I know Nebraska and Wyoming both have 6-man divisions. I can also look to Montana, but I'm kind of struggling to find Wyoming contacts in general, because how they put things out, you can't really find an AD's email or a staff directory at all.
I can get you emails for Kirk County,
Okay,
which
perfect.
would be Hewlett and Sundance and.
That'd be awesome.
And they'd be able to hook you up for that.
Yes, have you thought about North Dakota at all?
Yeah, I heard North Dakota has some, but very little.
But most of their 6-man is not that far from here.
Okay, perfect. I didn't really want to go to Nebraska because that's travel.
I don't know who I could contact to help you, but I bet I can come up with somebody
Okay.
that'd give you some ADs that could at least direct you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, I would like to at least get 10 games next year for football. That'd be nice, especially since we only had 3 this year. But that's what I'm kind of looking at right now. Yes.
So if we were able to go to a varsity schedule of boys basketball next year, do we get back into the LMC or are we on a waiting list?
No, we get back into the LMC and then we can keep competing in West River.
You wanna talk about junior high boys basketball, middle
Oh
school?
yeah, that's right. Because of our junior high boys, we have 1 8th grader, 7th grader, 6th grader, the rest are 5th graders. So I talked with the coaches, and skill wise, I think it's best to play in the Belfast Rec League. So they want to cancel basically their whole season, except for against Lee Deadwood. Lee Deadwood said they'd bring their 6th graders out here to play. But the rest of it, they want to play in the Belfast Rec League. It's like 5, maybe 6 games on Saturdays. They want to use some of the funding to pay for it. It's like $45 a kid, I think. So I don't see an issue with that, but I talked with Amy and she said it should come from the general funding, since it's technically still a school.
Well, we're not paying for rental fees.
Yeah,
It's saving
yeah,
us a lot on travel
exactly.
to turn around and pay for it this year because of our circumstances with the rec league.
Yeah, I have like 7 kids, I think, 7 or 8 kids. So.
they're okay letting like seventh graders play in the fifth and
Mhm.
sixth grade
Yeah.
division?
Yeah,
That got approved.
that got approved
Okay.
because of where they at skill, where they're at skill wise.
Okay.
So the recommendation is to continue the head coach contract, because
Yeah.
they'll still be providing our students a benefit.
Mm-hmm. And then we talked about getting an assistant and having still, like, pay the assistant there also.
And they're still gonna practice.
They're having a regular practice.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're having regular practice and everything, still the same, they're just playing in Bellfish on Saturdays.
How many kids is that, by chance?
Between 6 and 9, I wanna say, maybe the first year head count, I know there's not that many, and a lot of fifth graders, their parents didn't want to put their kids to play up.
Yeah.
They're worried about injury and stuff like that, which I understand,
And they need an assistant?
We have, an assistant, kind of, she's interested, the wife, she wants to be an assistant, just to be there for health-wise situations and stuff like that.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Since we are not playing in the LMCA, is there any other games they can pick up? Like maybe Macintosh, since they got booted too?
I'm gonna look and see what I can do. I also know there's a wrestling tournament that weekend as well, so trying to schedule things around that is good too. Another routine.
Sure.
Trying to look and see what I can find, but
I figured so, I just wanted to make sure we're, cause I've definitely been asking, are we gonna find, sure they're doing what they can.
I'm trying to get home games. It's a little, since how the schedules are right now, and especially if those schools have a varsity team, a lot of those kids also play varsity. That was kind of a struggle to find times to get every coach.
Thank you.
When it comes to football, what, any idea what numbers for next year might look like?
I'm gonna say probably the same. 12 all together would probably be 6 middle school, 6 high school. Hopefully I'm wrong and there's more kids that will move up and play, but that's what we're kind of looking at right now.
That includes your estimation of what you think will move up from the fifth grade?
5th grade, I guess it depends on if they play out here, if they keep playing their whatever rec leagues and circuits or the Black Hills Youth football. I know some of those kids will probably want to stick it out another year, since they can play until they're in 6th grade out there. So, I know we have quite a few kids that do that.
Okay.
Which, it's football, right, that goes on a JV schedule every 2 years? And this last year was the second year of that, so we'll have to look into approving another bout of 2 years with
I
the
thought it
JV
was
schedule.
3 years. Okay.
Before the beginning of next season, I guess, or
That
whatever.
might have just been for this last alignment period, the next one might be 3.
Okay.
Because I don't think they used to always be consistent alignment periods, I think it used to vary, but they might have changed some of that as well. Cause I know when we started the JV schedule, it was just for 2 years. And so, yeah, we would have to, I guess I don't know what that looks like.
I suppose if you could verify clarify that, if it's a 2-year or 3-year for this next alignment period. And then we'll go from there.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Moving to our K principal, Mr. Clark.
All right, we have our elementary title literacy nights on January 22nd from 5 to 7 in the lunchroom. The theme is with the book Snowman at Night. We'll have activities that go along with the theme of the book. There will be a place for parents to take a school survey, receive a summary of what the title program does for the school and their students, and then they can follow their student from activity to activity. There'll be prizes and a book giveaways. We'll provide a light meal also. The CNA Comprehensive Needs Assessment Team have pushed out surveys about climate and culture to certified staff, non-certified staff, parents, and we will be having students 2nd through 5th grade do a survey this week. There's gonna be a station at Pro Literacy Night for parents who have not done so to complete the survey. And then we will travel, the CNA team will travel to Douglas on January 27th and 28th to analyze both quantitative and qualitative data through the surveys as well as our assessment data. We completed FastBridge benchmark testing before Christmas. We test 3 times a year with that. We completed our 2nd round, so our mid-year testing. Students are showing great growth, which validates our programs that we're using as well as our interventions. After testing, students have been regrouped for interventions due to their test results. And because of our testing data, we had a celebration glow stick dance party for K-5 students last Thursday. We are in the process of setting up our spelling bee to occur in March. There will be a book fair with our parent-teacher conferences on February 12th. And then on Friday, we will have our monthly professional development. And for the elementary teachers in the afternoon, MTSS will meet to discuss and learn about explicit instruction. We went over this last year, but with turnover, our representative was willing to come again this year to teach us more and show us the importance of that solid tier 1 explicit instruction. And that is all I have.
So I'm not, was that the FastBridge testing you mentioned?
Correct.
Is that raw data, is that actual aptitudes, or is that just comparing averages for the state and the nation and other districts? Is that?
That's showing growth, so it's kind of what they should be for each grade level come mid-year, beginning of the year and mid-year.
So it's actual raw data of their aptitude on SIP
Yes,
subject matter?
yes. Yeah, because not everybody uses FastBridge yet.
So,
Program.
is that something we can get a report on? And I'll be honest, I get frustrated with all these reports when we finally get one. All it is here's where we lay on the average compared.
Oh, compared to other schools.
I don't want average, I wanna see that we have above 80 percentile on their aptitude and 112
Who's on grade level and who.
Yeah.
Yep, I know at the elementary level, I will discuss that with my middle school and high school teachers. And, yeah, it'd be nice to send that stuff home.
Yeah, that
So
would
they
be,
can see where they're at.
yeah, actual averages don't mean squat, because everything flows. Actual aptitude is great. And that's my opinion, sorry.
Any other questions for Mr. Clark? All right, thank you very much. Move to our high school principal and superintendent, Mrs. Pittman.
Okay, February 5th, the 4th graders will be taking the NAEP exam, which is a national exam that gets them registered and see how our state compares with others. And our 4th grade was selected. Working on, scheduling the ACT for the last week of March. this is a learning process for me, but January 25th or 28th, I have an ACT meeting and we'll learn more. I did find out that our seniors can take the ACT at the same time in another room. It will not be combined, but we can deliver to two different rooms. CNA data collection for the high school will occur January 19th. Bobby Maher will be going through classrooms again and making evaluations. In service, we have the disc assessment first thing in the morning from 8 to 12. Then there's a crew in the elementary that's put together a Christmas party and potluck. You're welcome to join us for both. In the afternoon, I have a teacher forum of 3 of our more experienced teachers and 2 retired teachers, and collecting questions from our staff to have discussion on dealing with being a teacher, an educator. Finished my reasonable suspicion for supervisors for the DOT to cover for our CDL holders. The building committee will meet at 4 o'clock on January 26th. Since we had to postpone our budget committee meeting, Dawn, would you like to meet at 5:30? Then we can have building meeting and then a budget meeting after, or committee meeting afterwards?
Sure, that works. January 26th at 5:30.
Correct.
All right.
So, any questions? All right, thank you.
Alright, thank you very much. Moving to information and discussion. I don't think we have anything for this tonight.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to talk about a brief discussion about any committees that have met in the last month.
Do we have any?
Yeah.
Do we?
Alright. It's nothing exciting, just building and grounds, talk more about parking lot stuff, and other internal, maintenance needs for the building. Anything else I'm missing? Pretty much covered it.
That budget meeting is at 5:30,
Yeah.
and we're doing buildings and grounds at 4.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm making sure it's in my calendar.
I know, I was like. Oh, it is there. I don't remember scheduling this, guys, but there it is.
I do in your outlook.
Yeah.
That's the only committee meeting we have.
We just got buildings and grounds?
Yep.
Okay. That's it there, we'll move to open forum. I did not see anything on the sheet for open forum, so we'll move right into old business. Old business item A, the second reading of policy ECABB, multi-occupancy room use. No, this is just our second reading, so we don't need any motions on any of these, just thoughts and discussion. Any further thoughts on this one?
So what point are we having a hard copy available at the meeting, so that, I mean, we should have a hard copy at the first reading that stays with us to compare changes.
Yeah. And that's where we make edits and changes, but I'll get you a hard copy.
Well, I guess my question is, how do we memorialize this beyond just what's in SharePoint? Does everyone in the community have access to the SharePoint, to all of the changes we have made?
No, they should be.
I mean, it's one thing for us to have access, but what about,
I do believe that these new policies are ready that we go through on the full website.
No, they're not, I'm making them, no,
Well, don't you put them up there after the first or second reading though?
they do not,
Do you normally?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then if they are located under school board and then policy recommendations off of the website.
okay.
So that's where they're typically at for
Mhm.
community viewing.
Okay.
And I do believe after each reading, you put an updated version with any new changes or corrections, we're gonna adjust.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's kind of a fluid thing on the website.
Okay.
Any other questions on, ECABB? No, we'll move on to old business item B, second reading of policy GCDB, criminal background check. Anybody have any more new thoughts on that one? Alright, seeing none, we'll move on to old business, item C, second reading of policy GCDBC, criminal background checks, volunteers, and employees and contractors. Alright, we'll move on to old business item D, second reading of policy JEA, compulsory attendance ages. It's pretty short and sweet, I think we had any discussion possible at the last meeting on that one. If I remember correctly. If nothing else there, we'll move on to old business item E, second reading of policy JEG, exemptions from from school attendance, excuse me. Alright, seeing nothing for old business. Item E, we'll move on to our new business. New business item A, first viewing of the proposed 26-27 school calendar.
I sent it out your email, I had to go back and make a second one.
I saw the first, but I believe the second one I didn't have the attachment. I'll have to double check. For some reason, I should have felt the other one.
Do you wanna look at this one?
What,
I had it. Now, I am looking at graduation on the 22nd, because I don't wanna go to the left 29th, but if you want me to stay with the 29th, the seniors will get out of school 2 days before the rest of the month.
My bigger question is the same as always, what kind of hours are we looking at?
It would be the same time as what got put in the schedule this past year.
The same hours as last year?
Yeah.
So that would be the same for elementary, I mean, all the way across the board, right?
Yeah, same number of contract days, same number of minutes. We'll still go with the 7-period schedule like this year, which has 11 hours of instruction time into the schedule.
Have we bumped these like event days against other activities?
Well, usually it goes the other way around,
Yeah.
that you get your calendar set and then you start plugging in other things.
Okay.
So like homecoming, I just have a Friday there. That might have to be adjusted accordingly, and that also, might change the parent teachers conference and such, but that's usually the one outlier from all the activities.
Yeah.
Final exams will be after Christmas vacation.
say that again.
Semester test will be the fourteenth and fifteenth of January.
Exams are after Christmas? I thought that was the big argument before, is to put it before,
So, there was one year in the past,
or is this just because this goes back to the start date for me. That's why it caught my ear, is August is typically a hell of a lot hotter than May. And I didn't like how early we started, but the reason that I got overruled on that is to make sure that finals was before Christmas vacation. Because they tend to not test as well after they've had a break. Now, am I mistaken in that thought process?
no, I don't believe you are. I know there was one year in the past, several years ago, that we started after Labor Day,
Yeah,
and that moved semester exams till after Christmas
Christmas.
break as well. And I was teaching at the time, and a lot of the students thought it was great because then it started after Labor Day. But after the semester tests, a lot of students
didn't perform as well.
basically came back and said, we were stupid. Is what the students, their thoughts were, and I mean, that's just obviously based on that year.
Because I guess I've always been a proponent that says, I like, when I was a kid, the biggest push was not until after Labor Day, because then it was after the state fair. But those dynamics have changed significantly lately, but I am not in favor, if testing is not going to be before Christmas, then I'm not in favor of starting and I don't even have the start date in front of me.
24th of August.
So what did we start this year?
The 19th.
Okay, so 5 days.
When you look at the
6 days.
calendar, you're looking at starting a week later.
Okay, I guess I like that way better, because one thing that we do not have the privilege of having in this school district is cooling. And at least for me, heat is not my friend when I have to think. I get grumpy, kinda like I get angry.
So if we're only pushing that start date back 1 week, looking at this forward-thinking calendar, why does that push those semester tests 2 weeks after Christmas break?
Cause I didn't wanna put final exams the week right
The
after
week right
Christmas
after.
vacation.
So you just moved a week into the first semester.
And I did the count, and actually it balanced out, because if you look at this calendar that we have here, fall semester is actually a few days shorter than spring semester.
Yeah.
So actually going 2 weeks after Christmas vacation, it balanced the actual days of the semesters out.
I still got my soapbox. That every year, I question about the metrics of all the data we're given on our school's performance, our students' performance, and I've equated more than once that as our academics fell, that's when we started dropping our hours that we educated our children. And now we've hit where we're one of the lower houred schools in the state, and we're one of the lower report cards in the state. And even when you compare to other 4-day weeks or lower hours, we have thrown money hand over fist to maintain a 4-day week without trying any other modified schedule. And our improvement seems to be just kind of floating and skipping off the bottom. In 12 years, we've dropped 102 hours off of our high school contact time. Our middle school, we've dropped 75, and our elementary, we've dropped 32 hours of actual education time.
even with this year's schedule?
Yes, that's compared to last year's, cause with what you have, that's, yes.
So you're saying that we're less time this year than last year?
No, 12 years ago, in 2013,
Okay,
Compared to the 24-25 school year.
Mhm.
yes. So I mean, I'm
Is
standing
that
on,
when, is 2013 when we
No.
went to the 4-day?
no,
No, they
That
were
was
4 days well before that.
2005, 2004, 2005.
anyway,
So
I'm,
now, you're saying, how many minutes less this school year than in 2013?
let me correct that, cause the data for this year wasn't available.
Mhm.
They go 23, 24.
Mhm.
So I have, so based off of that, we are 102 hours less in high school, 65 less in middle school, and 32 less in elementary.
Well, then you need to look at this year's schedule and the minutes we have at the end of the year. Because when we cut out a class period and make our classes longer, that 4-minute change for elimination every year increased by 11 hours. And those kids are in one less class, but they're in the core classes for a full hour.
So even at that, if we
So
gain
you-
11 hours out of the 100 we've lost, that's 10%.
660 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm talking 100 hours, everything I gave was in hours.
Well, I don't know where you get your numbers, because the state
The
reports
Department of
minutes.
Education website.
They report minutes.
But,
I put time back in, it
Yeah.
changes the schedule.
and either way,
spend more
we're
time
still
on our-
lower than what we have been by a long ways, and
Well, I've already explained all this to you.
I'm still on my soapbox, that our contact time is the one thing we have not attempted. We've changed curriculum, we've done studies here, we've done testing there, and our academics, the metrics just don't point in a positive fashion the way that it's presented. So I'm saying at some point we need to look at our contact time, and I'll get off my soapbox right
We
there.
did. We changed our schedule.
We did not put in the time we've lost, that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is we have moved towards that direction.
Are we gonna continue to move in that direction?
I sure hope so.
We're gonna continue to add time to the schedule, cause you just
No,
told me,
now, wait a minute here. We did put time in, we did change the schedule. We are trying something new, okay, to give our kids a better education.
okay,
Okay, we've already had this conversation several times, but we do have data, we just talked about the data that we have, that we see improvements.
so present it to us, that was, I mean.
Okay, but to say that we're not doing anything,
I
that's,
think what Todd is saying is that the amount of time that we've put back in doesn't completely replace the amount of time that was lost from then till now. And so, yes, we have put more back into the schedule, and I think what Todd, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're looking at and focusing on is that you feel adding yet more time back into said schedule above and beyond what we've done this last year is about the only direction that we haven't gone.
Yes,
And this last year, we did start going that direction, but adding more time back into it would be the only thing in your mind that we haven't done to address.
But we haven't been able to see the data from adding the few minutes back. We don't know where that really is.
No.
I mean, other
Other
than,
than what
what we
Mr.
have at
Todd
this
presented
point,
this
yes.
evening.
but
and-
we are doing something.
well, and that's where I'm at then, I will gladly retract, but I want to see it. Cause I've said this for 12 years, and nobody presents anything in a positive fashion that we're being grounded. So now we've added a little bit of time, show me the improvement, and I will shut up.
Well, it's January.
But we just tested, there's data out there, so, and then I
Okay,
just
but-
requested it, so yeah, next meeting, boom.
Well, and in all reality, if we get our mid-year data, you know, the first testing of the year, this fall, isn't gonna show us a whole lot, cause that'd be a baseline more or less.
Essentially.
And so our mid-year and our end of the year, which it would be where we can really truly look at that data.
We should be able to compare mid-year this year to mid-year last year, if we're.
This is the first
We
year
just
that we.
started, yeah.
This is the first year that
First
we've
year,
done
this is
this.
the first year we've done that.
Cause like I said, everything else we've done is just based on, here's your average compared to this, compared to
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And I can show you your students.
That's where we're at, I mean, and if, you know, every year it's, you know, and pardon me for stepping on toes, but it's the same answer every year, well, just like you said, well, this is the standard, now we gotta wait till here, but then at the end of the year, well, you know, I mean, it keeps getting pushed off, so I'm calling you out right here, yeah, show me.
Well, I think that it's obvious though that Dr. Pittman has prioritized implementing at least, you know, the start of, we're gonna start monitoring the progress.
And I don't wanna come off like I'm picking on these guys either, in a sense, we've been through so many, and every time it's the same promise, the same thing. And I get on my soapbox and then I quit, this time I'm not gonna. Okay, so I mean, I fully expect and anticipate you following through, but I'm gonna follow through with you following through. That's where I'm at, I mean, I wanna see it. So I mean, it's always a promise and well, such and such school does this schedule and they've done this, so we're trying that, and then in 2 years, well, that didn't work, so we're doing this, so you've implemented something, let's see the data. So if it takes till spring,
Well, I mean, we can still look at the mid-year data, because that'll give us any vision of growth from fall to now. And then we're gonna have to look at it again in the spring to see what the entire growth over the year was. And then to see with that time that's been added back into the schedule with our, schedule change, we're probably gonna have to go through a whole nother year to really put some, and I don't wanna say concrete, but we can still look at the steps along the way.
we need to see.
And I think that's what you're wanting,
Yes,
is we
the
wanna
steps
see,
and
we
the
wanna
change.
see the steps and the growth along the way.
Without modifications and changes, you know, it's like
Yeah.
if it ain't working, the moral to the story is, we have tried and tried and tried, and it's always something new, except for one thing.
Yep.
You know?
Progress month.
No, actual adding time, and enough time to where we once were.
And this is the first year since 2013 that we've added time.
Yeah, and we're still
back to
behind
this-
that actual time.
Yeah, we're still, but we're going in the other direction now.
So, yes, and then, so let me put it this way then, since we're on this topic, if we see improvement, since we added time, are we gonna just be stagnant? And say, well, we added our 11 hours, our 12 minutes, or whatever, or are we gonna say, man, we saw progress, let's add another 5 minutes and see if it goes, or are we gonna just say, well, that's gonna be enough to pull us back up where we were? I mean, what's our end goal there?
I would think, and my thought on that, cause I'm thinking the same thing that you're talking about there. That's something that we'd have to look at after a complete year,
Sure.
and then probably almost 2 years to make sure that we have
We have a good
we
baseline
have
to see where we
the
shoot.
first year is our baseline, and our baseline of growth, and if the second year continues to grow
We don't need to
with the
modify.
added time,
Yeah.
you know, added more added time, excuse me, might be beneficial, but if we're continuing to see the growth with just the amount of time that we have added and continued growth, then that's a point where we reevaluate the numbers, the data and everything, and go from there. It would be my thought.
The only element of that I guess you guys did a good job of selling me on this semester test before Christmas vacation. Is it gonna influence the data in a fashion that, cause we're not comparing complete apples to apples? Cause we had semester tests prior to Christmas vacation this year,
But the Fast Bridge is a standalone, and so those semester tests being after break, might just have to look at when we apply those Fast Bridge, the mid-year assessment.
So we're,
Would still
well,
do the mid-year testing before.
so that was kind of my question. We're comparing Fast Bridge data, not comparing all data of the testing.
Fast Bridge is to progress monitor so that we are providing the correct interventions where needed
Throughout the year.
Throughout the year, so it's
To the students.
Yeah.
They need help tomorrow.
And
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
are applying to our students, we are seeing progress.
Okay. So, Dr. Pittman, you're comfortable with semester test being after break?
I've seen it both ways. I haven't.
Well,
seen it this way.
that's my question, as long as you're comfortable with it for this schedule, because you sold me well enough last year not to have semester tests, but that I backed off because I was a firm advocate that we need to not start so early. But if you're fine with that, and we're starting a week later, and the results are gonna be similar, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, progress monitoring with the semester test to see how they do in a course. Fast Bridge is progress monitoring to see the growth in the standards. The test they take in August and the test they take in December, the December test is much harder because they have 4 months of instruction added on to it.
So with this schedule, the semester test being after Christmas break, do you see, maybe not see, well, do you see any issues with, I mean, we're not losing instruction time, we're not losing any hours, but do you see the possibility of in individual classes, a loss of instruction time with staff members coming back after Christmas break for that week before semester test to go through and review material?
I didn't see it in Wall, and we didn't start till after Labor Day.
Okay,
That's-
my next thought though, this year, semester test being prior to Christmas, aligned it more with the dual credits that my children were taking. And she still had days that she had already taken her semester test for Northern, and they were done. And basically, she was just a warm body in the school. If we take semester tests after Christmas, education time for those dual credits for my child, what is she gonna do for those 2 weeks after Christmas break? I mean, she still has other classes that she's taking, but there's, I believe, 4 dual credits that she's taking through Northern, that she's just going to be a warm body in the classroom for 2 weeks.
She's taking more classes, so they'll probably fit into that time frame.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, that's something that just crossed my mind, if she's gonna take another.
It doesn't start as soon either. It
Yeah.
ends quicker and it starts sooner, or later.
Which school you get them?
But you still have the state looking at our attendance,
Yeah,
even
okay.
though the college schedule isn't totally in sync with the high school.
No, it was just a thought that went through my mind, so I guess I'm satisfied.
What, does the staff have any input on this yet?
I sent it out, the first one, that's when it got brought to my attention when the rally was, and they requested the 21st and 22nd to be added to Christmas vacation.
So Christmas is on Friday this year. They get out on Tuesday. They come to school for 1 day. Was that
No,
they
I
get out.
put that back into the Christmas vacation.
vacation? Okay.
What's, and it might be really simple, and I might just not be understanding. Why is the rally coming to you?
Because of in-service, and I have staff that have rally jobs, and I have staff that would have to drive through all that as well, whether they work for.
I see.
That shouldn't really, I mean, everybody has to drive through it, that's the second
Well,
part.
Yeah, but the rally's over on the 9th.
No,
No,
it's, oh, yeah, it's
It's the first full week of August.
yeah, it's over on the 9th.
that was the staff input. I just went with the
Oh,
staff
actually, no, it
No, it's
goes the
later.
9th through the 15th this year because
Yeah.
of the way that July
Yep.
is, it's later.
Yeah, it's really late this year, Liz.
That answers my question, as to why it's split.
7th to the 16th.
You just pulled it up? Because when my mother used to write the schedule working for the city of Sturgis, it was always the first full week.
Yep, they had,
They had it 2 days.
Okay.
it wasn't, I remember it.
The first full week and the second weekend.
Goes for 4 weeks anyway.
Well, yes, any other thoughts or comments, on this proposed schedule? Before we move onward? We're not approving it tonight.
Oh, this is just first viewing.
Yeah, just for.
I just read that, my bad.
No more? Alright, well, we'll move on to new business item B, approved DOE administrative waiver.
I move to approve the DOE administrative waiver.
Second.
Motion's been made by Kristen and seconded by Dawn. Is there any discussion?
This is,
Department of Education waiver, explain to me what that exactly, because I saw it there, but I don't completely understand what it is.
This is for that stuff yours that I got.
The long-term sub situation went over 45 days, so.
Okay.
that's what I thought, I wanted clarification.
You got a motion and a second?
Yep,
So it's just like a Band-Aid until certification, is that how I understand it?
No, it's saying that they're gonna waive the administrative rule on it, the situation this year.
Okay.
And, you know, the last one we did, you know, I had the approved minutes, so next month when I get the approved minutes, I will put it in with the waiver, send it to the state will go through it and.
So she can remain like a long-term sub, is
Yeah.
basically why we have to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't quite sure.
any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Business item C, approve early graduation applications.
I emailed you that there was 2, I received the 3rd one this morning. But
The email said that you approved of the 2, do you approve of the 3rd?
yes, Ms. Mose and I went through all the credits, we approve them.
This is for next school year, right?
They'll finish in December.
Curiosity is, are they, when they, credit-wise, will they be, what is there, 4 pathways to graduate? Or is there only 3? No, I'm getting that mixed up. Cause you can do, there's a bottom credit,
I'm not sure, we went through their credits.
but you don't know whether they'll
What
be.
pathway, that I can't tell you.
In my mind, it wouldn't really matter one way or the other,
As long as their credits
as
are.
long as the credits line up and have enough of them.
You're looking for a
Because
motion to
there's
approve
no
this?
way for the district to hold individual students accountable to, I don't wanna say obtain, but choose a more rigorous course of credit.
In my mind, this is outside of this, it's the same but different. The rigor is go to your legislator and say, hey, we're letting kids. I mean, that's where my curiosity went. to.
No, this is a board decision, a local.
This is, but the knowledge of which pathway they took is where you could go, hey,
Yeah, they have to take certain credits
If
in
they're being-
certain
There being
But
those
that's
things
not
required.
something that's part of this application.
Yes, I was looking for a different reason.
You looking for a motion to approve?
Yeah, we will need a motion.
I move to approve these three applicants.
Second.
Motion's been made by Dean and seconded by Kristen. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. New business item D, approved transportation for swimming lessons.
I move to approve the transportation for swimming lessons.
Second.
Motion's been made by Kristen and seconded by Amber.
Don't we have to co-sponsor this?
I think there was
There's
something.
a certain way we.
There's like a
set it.
contract or something that Shannon, isn't that something she
Well,
gives us?
we might actually have to amend that to a co-sponsor, because if we co-sponsor it, our
Yeah.
insurance covers, if I remember correctly.
We did last year.
I believe so, yeah. I'm assuming that's the same as the past, where we provide the fuel, they provide the driver type thing.
Mhm.
I make a motion to amend this to co-sponsor the swimming lessons.
Second. I think that's what it was last year. It's with the community club, right? Isn't that what it is? Yeah.
Hold on, I'm writing stuff down. The amendment's been made by Kristen, and who was the second on that? Amber? And seconded by Amber to amend the motion on the table, to approve co-sponsoring, or approve co-sponsoring transportation for swimming lessons. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, we proceed to vote on the amendment that's on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Amendment carries. Now back to the main motion as amended. Approve co-sponsoring transportation for swimming lessons. Is there any further discussion on that?
That's in June, right?
I think it depends when they can get us in over at Jackson, but it's like June or July.
Yeah, because not this last summer, but the summer before they had to move it.
Yeah.
Because they were having problems with the pool or something.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
But this
Yeah.
last summer, I think it was towards the middle of June, if I remember correctly.
Just curious.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving to new business, item E, approve administrative recommendations for personnel. A resignation of Pam Riesland as a teacher. B, contracts for Michelle Stockert at $26,520 as a teacher, and Stephen Fortune at $15.50 an hour for custodian. Volunteers, Michaela Nyman, Ashley High, and Crystal E.
I move to approve A, B, and C.
Second.
Motion's been made by Dean, and seconded by Kristen. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The board will now entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
I move to enter into executive session SDCL 1-25-21.
Second.
Motion's been made by Kristen, seconded by Amber. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The board will enter into exec at 6:58.